Hey guys, I'm Jacqueline.
And I'm Marcella.
And we just got back from the movies. We just saw Captain Marvel, finally.
Finally, guys. So if you didn't know, we were in Boston for St. Patrick's Day weekend when this movie came out, so we didn't get to see it, but we finally saw it.
Yeah, and wow. We have a lot of things to say.
Overall thoughts without spoiling anything. I really enjoyed the movie. It's not my favorite Marvel movie.
I don't think that, for some reason, I feel like we didn't enjoy it maybe as much as other people did. But I think that that's what, like, we went into it with like super high expectations.
That could be because we were seeing what we didn't see it when it first came out, so we were seeing what other people were saying.
But I mean, it was good. Like, we really enjoyed it and we had a lot of fun watching it. I just think for us, it was a little bit confusing in the beginning.
Yeah, I feel like
I thought it was a little
slow. Yeah.
I mean, I thought
we were confused like a good
first like 20 minutes, I would
say more than that.
Yeah,
it was a good, like, I don't want to say half the movie, but at least a quarter of the movie I was confused.
We were confused, yeah. I mean, we really enjoyed it though once it made sense and everything all put together, and we got to see a lot more fleshed out character development, and we really enjoyed her. I thought she was super badass and really awesome to follow.
I really enjoyed the fight scenes. I thought the fight scenes were really cool. I liked the whole twist in it.
Yeah, the plot twist was amazing. I think our favorite part of the movie was Nick Fury and the cat.
Yeah. I thought that he was wonderful.
I loved Nick Fury in this movie so much. Obviously, we loved the end credits. If you guys haven't seen it yet, there's 2 end credits, but the first one is the best one. That is going to kill you.
Yes. And then the second one is a little silly.
It's a little funny. It's fun though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I think overall thoughts. I mean, rating-wise, what would you give it?
I would give it like a B.
I think a solid B would work for this movie because it wasn't like amazing or anything, but I still think it's a good installment for sure for Marvel.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed the beginning of the movie, how it was a very it was Stan Lee. Like, I love the way that they did like the credits.
Yes.
And then it said thank you, Stan. I loved that so much.
We also got a little cameo of him in the scene, I think when they were on the subway, I think it was.
Yeah, really briefly. I think it was the subway fight scene, which, I mean, obviously, you know that it's so devastating what happened. So I really love that they paid tribute to him in the beginning.
Yeah.
Back to what we said a little bit in, like, before. It was very, very sci-fi, like, immediately sci-fi. And for some reason, from the trailer, I didn't catch that it was gonna be so, like, in space, and for some reason the trailer made it seem like it was gonna be more of like an origin and like watching her develop, kind of like a Wonder Woman.
I thought that, I think that's why we were so thrown off, because we were like waiting for an origin and like to kind of like get to know her a little bit more. And we had all these like flashbacks, and she was like struggling within herself because she couldn't remember things, and like she was very confused
and
about
she was
like,
confused, so
who she was, so we're like confused, and I think we were just like thrown off because we were expecting to kind of like get to know her more and like her story. But and eventually you figure out that like these are pieces of her life that she doesn't know, because obviously, you know, her head was messed with.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that the way that they set in the flashbacks was definitely very interesting. It was not the normal, I would say. Like, it was a very different way of establishing like her past. Like, basically she's figuring out her past as we're also figuring out her past. So it was good. I just feel like in the beginning, like, we were just thrown into like a fight scene without knowing who like anybody was. So I was just confused at first because I had no idea who anybody was, and I felt like we were supposed to at that point, and I didn't. It felt like we were just put in like the middle of a movie or something, and like that works for some movies, but for me, I think because it was the first movie, I just didn't.
I expected to. Like,
I didn't get it.
I expected it to be a little different. Like, So as soon as she's thrown into, I think it was 1995, we figured out. I love how she drops right into Blockbuster. Yeah. Like, that is like the point where we've established like we're not in this time anymore, because you see a Blockbuster. So I thought that was really funny, because Blockbuster.
I feel like once she came like down to earth, that's when the movie started to pick up for me. Yeah, and like I started to kind of be like, okay, now we're in like the real world. Nick Fury's here. Like, now
like we're gonna get going.
Yeah.
It was picked up a little bit, because there was some slow parts. There were some parts where like I wasn't like losing interest, but I was just kind of like, all right, like come on, let's keep going.
Yeah. Like, I thought the pacing wasn't as consistent as I would have.
Yeah, it was a little bit up and down.
Yeah. And Nick Fury coming in was fantastic. Like, it was so cool to see him back then. Like, you know, this is the beginning of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and
I love how we get to see how he gets it with the eye.
The eye with
how
the
he gets
cat.
it scratched out.
Oh my god.
I love seeing how that happened.
The cat was amazing.
The cat.
The cat and Nick Fury was like my favorite thing ever.
Goose the cat. I thought that those were the funniest scenes.
Much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. When we came out of the theater, we actually said, I wish the movie itself was a little bit more funny and lighter. Like, for a Marvel movie, like, I expect to laugh a lot, and I feel like the scenes that, the parts that I did laugh were really Nick Fury and the cat base. Like, there was some fun lines thrown in here and there, but it wasn't as, like, humorous as other Marvel movies, I would say. It was a little bit more serious. It was a little bit more, like, some of it kind of felt a little bit flat for me, some of the humor that they tried to hit. I don't know if that was just us being a little bit more, like, picky with the Marvel. I don't know if that was just us.
That could have just been us because we're used to having a ton of humor in a Marvel movie, so it was like strange not to, maybe.
Yeah, but the parts that it was funny, it was like really funny. Like, I was dying over the cat. That was just,
that was
I literally have in my notes Nick Fury and cat with like a heart. Like, that was my favorite thing. I think my favorite dynamic was still Nick Fury and Carol. I think that was just so much fun together, and the banter that they had.
Yeah, I love how, like, when he kind of like betrayed her at that one point, and then she was like, she like took his pager from him and was like, you can't be trusted, like, give me that.
Well, I like the scene before when they got locked in that room and he's like figuring out like the tape with like to get like the thumbprint, and then she just like comes with her hand and he's just like, seriously? He's like, you could have done that while I was playing with the tape.
Yeah. I think we really enjoyed the plot twist of like how the bad guys,
that was one of the best parts,
ended up not being the bad guys, the people who really like made her who she was in some ways, ended up being the bad guys. Actually, they found her, and like I liked getting that whole backstory finally and finding out what happened.
That was so good. Like, once she listens to it, and then everything just comes like flooding out, and we get like the full scene of them on the plane and everything, and how that whole thing ended up happening, which we actually predicted in the very beginning of the movie that they were the ones that like fucked with her memory.
Yeah, we did
call that, but
we kind of like whispered to each other. We're like, I bet that it was them that did it.
But I didn't know that it was gonna be like,
I still enjoyed it though. I still thought it was a cool idea.
I didn't think that they were gonna be the villains. I actually thought that the Skrulls were still gonna be the villains.
I figured that there was gonna be like two villains, and it was gonna be like a back and forth of like between like them trying to get like do this, and then like them, like, I thought it was gonna go back and forth between like both of the villains, but it ended up where the Skrulls ended up.
I loved that though. I really loved that they ended up being like the good guys and were the ones that
the main one, when like he found his family. Oh, yeah, I thought that he was a really great character.
Yeah, I
like
really
his whole story of like he was trying to get back to his family, and then like he got back to them and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I really enjoyed the Skrulls, and I loved Carol's like dynamic with them, and how, you know, she realized that like it's not just like black and white here. Like, you're not just fighting these villains that you like, do you even understand what was going on in the war? And I really like that whole thing of her understanding that, you know, the people that found her were actually the villains. Like, they were the ones that were that messed her up like her whole life, basically, from when they found her. And
okay, so I think that we were just talking about this in the car on the way back from the movie theater. One thing that we will say is that the whole ending scene, it was really cool.
It was very cool.
Like, the fight scene when she finally comes like into all of her powers, she takes the thing like out of her neck and all that, but it felt for us like it was a little rushed.
I don't know.
Because, I don't know. It was cool. Yeah. It was a great thing. It was great to watch on screen. It was like visually powerful and like stunning to watch with like the suit and like, she's glowing. It was some great shots and stuff. But I think that it was just like, I don't know, like, it was like a lot. Like, she was just like fighting them, and then all of a sudden it was like she takes this thing out of her neck, and then
she can just fly.
She's like this god, and she was like able to like, it was like a lot of power at once. And I feel like we were also saying that they probably did that because
they're trying to show like this is who's going to be going up against Thanos.
Yeah,
that's
like, really she's really powerful.
Yeah,
we just felt like it was a little rushed. It wasn't like it wasn't like a gradual thing. I don't know. It was just like strange.
It just happened very quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was really cool how she was like, I'm only human. And it had all these girls like standing up. Like it had her in her life. But I think just like her taking it out and all of a sudden she could do everything. I don't know. I just felt like it was like a huge leap of like, whoa, like I didn't realize that you were that powerful at that moment. But and then she's like, oh, you know, I had to be set free, and that's really what
she
made
was like
her
taking they were not letting her live up to her full potential, and I get that, but
I get it in a way. But for us, like watching it, it just came off like, whoa, like that was really quick.
It was just like it was just too fast. I felt.
I mean, I still think it was a really awesome scene. Wow, like the music and how she stood up and like the present time and how
it really powerful.
Like it was super cool. I just wish that we got a little bit more before that, because once she had her full power, like everything else was like nothing. Like
it was kind of like,
felt like the fight was over, basically.
Yeah, the fight was over.
And like they kept trying to keep it going. Like it reminded me of like some Star Wars shots down when they went into the ground and they were like fighting with the spaceships. Like it reminded me of something like, I don't know. I just felt like it was basically done once she became that powerful. I
think overall as a character, we really, really enjoyed her. I think that she was really badass, really independent, and she was really, really cool and she fought. I think that we also mentioned though that we felt like we wanted to get a little bit more of her past, because I feel like we got all these flashes and stuff, and like
I wanted to
I don't know,
feel a little bit more. Like for example, they said like her dad was really bad, and like I would have liked to see another scene of that. Like they just kind of showed her dad like yelling at her.
Like obviously we didn't want like a whole boring like thing about when she was younger, but I felt like we just needed to get a little bit more to know her.
I felt like I wanted to sympathize more with her.
Yeah, like connect with her a little bit more.
Yeah, like I felt like that connection wasn't as strong as I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And like I didn't, like I felt like she was definitely like, I would say likable for sure. I just think, and she was like
she was badass, but I wanted to feel
I just wanted to feel more. Like I want
feel like that connection.
Yeah, like that powerful moment that she had. Like I wish that we kind of tore her down a little bit more.
Exactly,
you know what I mean? Before we built her up like that. Like I wish that there was just like maybe like a scene or two more in there,
like a little bit more,
connect more. I will say I really enjoyed her dynamic with the daughter, and I really liked that scene when she was picking her suit colors. Like I thought that was really nice, and I really liked those scenes together, like all like the family scenes. I thought that was really nice. And like I said, I think we just wanted,
because that gave a little bit more to her, because she was this other person before she was taken from the people,
and before she was given like this whole new life,
this whole identity.
I think I would have just liked some more of that, because I think there, and I feel like
it could be though too that she's trying to find out who she is still, because she just found out that she's this other person. So again, we could be getting more of that in the next one. This is just the first movie.
This is only the first
one.
So
I feel like we've established her, but we just need to now build a little bit more to her. And
for sure.
Yeah, I think that could still come in the next movies.
I thought the ending was really cool, how we had like Nick Fury behind the desk and he's like, we need to find more superheroes, and then we saw like the name like Avengers, and we got a little bit of the music. It was just like Avengers, and then obviously we couldn't wait for the end credits.
I was listening so intently, like I was like laying down during the movie, like we have recliner chairs in our movie, and then once
Chris Evans comes on, it's like okay, here we go. All of a sudden Chris Evans is on my screen, and I'm like, whoa, I did not expect to come here for this.
Hello again.
And so I really loved it when she comes in and she's like, where's Fury? And it was just like, shit! Like, because he called her at the end. It was so good.
That was really exciting. We're so excited for Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, and I think definitely watching the Avengers Endgame trailer, and at the very end it's like her meeting Thor. I think that's really exciting. Like, I'm excited to see her interact with our favorites. Like, that's what I'm excited for.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I'm excited to see how she, like, her dynamic with everyone.
I think that's really our overall thoughts. So let us know what you guys thought of the movie down below, if you agree with us and what you thought.
Please be respectful in the comments, and be sure to follow our social media. We are at City of the Vale.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Bye!